Good morning, i24 News on this July 22nd, 2015. I am still Yael Avi. This is still the morning edition. And now let's talk about Israel's refugee policy. And that may be more difficult than it sounds because, speaking about it, there's not really much of a clear policy at all to discuss. Just yesterday, rights groups issued a petition to the Israeli courts to stop the detention of asylum seekers in an open facility in the desert. A move that still has not been made illegal by Israel's High Court. Many debate the state's actions to arbitrarily arrest asylum seekers from places like Eritrea and Sudan, very bloody, violent places, who have been residing in Israel for many years and suddenly find themselves detained over the last year or two. No one can testify better to this than our guest here today, Mutasim Ali from Darfur. Good morning to you, Mutasim. It's wonderful to have you back with us. As we know, a Darfuri activist living in Israel, and his lawyer, advocate Asaf Weizen. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
From the legal department of the Hotline for Refugees and Migrants. But before we break this down, our reporter Gabi Weiniger had the chance to spend some time with Mutasim, who has recently been released from that detention center. Let's have a look at that story and break it down from there.
We're always in uncertain situation. You don't know what will happen next. It creates a lot of confusion, instability.
28-year-old Mutasim Ali is living in limbo. And even to get there has been a difficult journey.
My village was was a small village of approximately 200 people. And in 2005, when they attacked it, 5 people were killed in the same village. So that's why everyone had left the village. It was kind of systematically like killing people, women, children, and men.
After fleeing his village in war-torn Darfur, pillaged by Janjaweed militia and now inhabited by strangers, Mutasim found himself alone, searching for a safe haven.
I was in Darfur, and then I had to flee to Khartoum, and then Khartoum wasn't really safe for me because I was arrested there many times, and because of the activism, because of being a Darfuri person. And then to Egypt, and Egypt wasn't really a safe place for me, and then to Israel, and that's kind of more than Israel for me is a fourth alternative. And still, I don't feel safe because I can be re-detained again.
Following initial detention upon his arrival in 2010, Mutasim boarded a bus to South Tel Aviv and began campaigning against what is happening in his homeland and for the migrants in Israel. He quickly became a community leader and a high-profile activist. But 3 years later, Israel enacted a new, stricter policy against migrants, leading to his rearrest, together with thousands of others. 14 months of poor conditions, a prison-like routine, and depression.
And now I'm out. What is the gain? Like, I'm just asking myself a question. What did the government gain out of this? Just to torture people? You know that you cannot deport them, and just detaining them to make their life harder? What do you gain out of it?
Israel has no formal policy in granting refugee status to asylum seekers, even though under international law, a person proven to be fleeing life-threatening places must be granted protection. Mutasim's claim has lain untouched, unprocessed, and therefore unproven for 3 years.
The issue here is not about being a refugee or not. It's just about Africans unwelcome.
More than 50,000 African migrants are thought to currently reside in Israel, most of them living right here in South Tel Aviv. And all of them have a story to tell.
Again, we're not just feeling for fun and better life, seriously. We're feeling a serious problem, and not just for ourselves, but also for those who are remaining there. For me, it's not a pride to be a refugee, and I'm totally embarrassed and humiliated to say I'm a refugee. I don't like it either. I mean, I don't want to be a refugee, seriously.
For now, Mutasim will stay in Israel, facing an uncertain fate in a country he thought would be particularly receptive to his plight.
The government's policy doesn't fit Israeli as a Jewish state. One thing that we're always making it clear, we're not here to stay for forever. We're definitely going back to our homes.
Now, Mutasim, sitting here with us, you have recently been released from Holot.
Correct.
How so? Why? How did they finally let you out?
Personally, I don't know. I don't know the answer. And I'm always saying that question should be asked to the government because my case is not so much different than any other asylum seeker in Holot. I mean, most of us fleeing wars and dictatorships.
Massacres in Africa.
Most of us have filed asylum for a month or maybe over a year, and haven't have our asylum claims processed. And I think there is no, a clear answer. For me, it's understandable, and that's why I'm saying Holot is not the right place for any one of us who submitted asylum claim and is staying there for quite a long time. All of them should be released.